Good afternoon. My name is Johnny Davis, and today we're going to talk about the belief model. We're going to talk about what it is, how it impacts your life, and also why it's so necessary for you to really understand this and apply this every day so that you can achieve and accomplish every dream and every goal and every desire in your life. Let's talk about the four components that make up this belief module. We're going to focus on the area of belief, capability, strategy, results. We're going to deal with this other guy here too called fear, and also this area in here called the scotoma. All right. And so let's talk about exactly what a belief is. A belief is a feeling of certainty that you have about something. You're so emotionally tied to this particular feeling of certainty or emotional certainty about this particular thing, your ability or something. Now, this particular belief that you're holding on to, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. It just means that this is something that you hold so dear and so valuable to you. And we learned in our previous module some of the things that actually go into shaping our beliefs, our significant emotional events, our conditioning, and also the environment. Now, again, some of these beliefs can be empowering, meaning that they serve you and they help you in some way. They bring you closer to your goal, your end result, or they could be disempowering. They can be something that doesn't serve you, something that doesn't help you, that's actually bringing you further and further away from your end result. But in the event, whatever it is, that's essentially what a belief is. Beliefs can be changed. You can tell yourself a different story. I'll give you a quick example of what I'm talking about. 10 years ago, I was actually diagnosed with heart failure at age 34 years old. Out of the blue, this disease hit me for no reason of my own, no fault of my own. I developed this weakened heart muscle that actually literally almost killed me. And despite all of the negative information that I was receiving in terms of my prognosis, people that had my condition, the likelihood of them living past 50, 55 years old, the likelihood of them having normal lives and being able to get married and do the things that they want to do, or maintain their marriage, or go back to work, or start a business, whatever it is, that their lives will be totally changed forever and not necessarily for the positive. And that was the kind of doom and gloom news that I was given at such a young age. And despite all of that, despite everything that I was being told, I decided in my mind that at age 34 years old, that I was not ready to die. I was not ready to throw in the towel. I was not ready to give up. And so I had to tell myself a new story. I had to implant new feelings of emotional certainty about my health and what I was going to accomplish moving forward. And so I had to change my language. Instead of using disempowering language like I'll try, maybe one day, perhaps, or I should, I replaced those words with I must get better. I will get back to normal. I will be stronger than ever before. I am healthy. I am strong. I'm living the life that I want to live. I implanted new beliefs in my brain. And here it is today, 10 years later, I'm standing before you healthy and strong, and my heart is now functioning normally. And so I tell you from personal experience that you can believe your beliefs about your ability, your beliefs about what you want to accomplish can be realized. And so that brings me to the other area of capability. Now, we as human beings, we're capable of doing whatever we want to do. We have people right now that are on Mars. We have people that have accomplished the most insurmountable tasks despite the obstacles that was presented before them. So we all have the ability to do whatever we want to do. But the key thing that activates the capability or the ability is your belief that you can actually do what you say that you want to do. Now, the other area that we're talking about here is strategy. Strategy is the how to. How do you do this? How do you do that? It's just a methodology, a different system, if you will, of accomplishing a particular goal or task. And in many areas, in many instances, when people are on their pathway to accomplish a particular goal or reach an endpoint, if they're not getting there fast enough, they often look in the area of strategy because this is tangible. We, in fact, refer to this side of the module, the conscious side. We'll deal with the unconscious side in a minute. But we deal with this area, we call it the conscious side because this is the tangible side. This is something that you can actually put your hands on and say, okay, we can change this, we can tweak this. If we come up with this particular system or this way to do this, maybe this will help us get the end result. And that is the area that most people spend a lot of time in, but that's really not necessarily the area that we need to revisit. Now, strategy is very important, but we need not spend all of our time there, because there's more than one way to accomplish a particular task. There's more than one way to do a thing. Doesn't necessarily mean, plan A is better than plan B or plan C. You just have 3 different plans, 3 different ways to accomplish a thing. And so, again, this strategy is very important, but it's not necessarily the main thing that prohibits a person from achieving what they desire to accomplish. The result is simply your end point, your end goal, your objective. What is your vision? What's your destination, if you will? And the way that you can really be systematic in developing what these results are, or something that can aid you in developing not necessarily a realistic, but something that you believe that you can do. An acronym that we use is called SMART. You want to make sure that your goals are specific, that they're measurable, achievable, they're relevant, and time bound. And so when you put it all together, when you put all of these components together, this makes for a very, very strong foundation to develop the belief that you need to accomplish your goal. And so let's talk about the belief in the results area. Let's dive into this just a little bit more. Your belief in your results have to be congruent. You have to be so firmly rooted on what it is that you want to accomplish. Otherwise, it'll never happen. Just in my case in point, I believe so strongly that I was going to be healthy and strong that today, 10 years later, I am now healthy and strong. Now, did fear creep in at some point in time? Absolutely. But here's the thing about fear. Fear is your friend. Fear is never going to go away. Fear is something that you have to embrace. Fear lets you know that you're on the right track. So that's how you actually utilize fear. But fear also creeps in when your belief is here and your result is here. See, when they're not together, when they're far apart, fear can creep in. So if you just imagine this being a door to the front door to your house. All the other doors in the neighborhood are closed, but your door is wide open. Fear is walking down the street. Fear happens to see that your door is wide open. Fear just lets themselves right in, takes a seat on your couch, unbeknownst to you, because you're in the shower. You step out of the shower, you're naked, you walk into your room, there's fear sitting on your couch, and you're startled. Oh my gosh, who let you in? How did you get here? And fear says, calm down. I'm not here to hurt you. In fact, I'm here to protect you. I'm here to save you from yourself. You know the thing that you want to do? Don't worry about doing it. You're not good enough. You're not moving fast enough. No one's going to miss you. No one's going to say anything bad about you. So save yourself the time and money and embarrassment and disappointment and pain. Some of the other things that you tried in the past, they didn't work either. So you just add this to the list, and it's okay. And, grab a seat right next to me on this couch, and we're going to be okay. And so a lot of people, what they do, they grab a seat on that couch right next to fear, and they give in. And here comes the scotoma. The scotoma is the mental block. The mental block that prevents you from being able to see the result, because your belief is here and your result is here, and that mental block creeps in, and guess what? You never see it. You never, ever see the end result, because you just physically just can't see it. It's tantamount to, you ever walk around your house, you have your keys in your hand, and you set your keys. Maybe you're on your way out to go to the store, you go in the garage, you're heading toward the garage, but you get distracted for a second, you set your keys down on the table, and then you go back to try to find your keys, and you can't remember exactly where you put them. You're like, oh my gosh, I just have my keys in my hand. Meanwhile, if you slow down for a second, they're right on your table. That's a mental block. That's what happens. That prevents people every day from seeing exactly what the key is in terms of how to make this all work. So guys, as we wrap up and we recap really quickly and we focus on the conscious side, we need to really direct our attention on the unconscious side and really focus on the area of belief, and really understanding that without that is the most important key to making all this work. Your belief must be solid. Your belief in your capability and your ability must be solid, but your belief and your result must be absolutely in unison. If not, none of this happens. Whatever you're looking to accomplish, it'll be just a wish. All right? So, thank you. It was an honor and a privilege to share this information with you this afternoon. We'll see you at the next module.